Welcome to the coolest radio station. This is Heart and Soul Broadcasting Services, and of course, I go by the name Mj Nyahalic, and it is a pleasure today to have an incredible, awesome time. And yes, I'm going to be having a chat down with the most vivacious, gorgeous, melodic songbird, if I'm to say. And of course, she goes by the name Chashe Musarurwa. Mark Taggart.
That's me.
Yeah,
thank you so much. Really kind words.
Awesome. Welcome to the show, eh?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's really exciting. Been looking forward to this for a few days, actually.
Same here. I've been looking forward to it, and I must have to say you're really quite an inspiration, and I love your music. I love your craft, the way you write your songs, and yes, we're gonna get into deep and getting to know about you, eh?
Okay, I'm ready. I think. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah. So maybe to some of the people who might not know who Chashe is, can you just break it down a bit and just introduce yourself?
I always find this a funny question. Who Chashe is? I'm all about the music, to be honest with you. That's who I am. That's who I've always been. Started playing and writing little songs from when I was a kid, growing up in Zim, before I even knew how to play anything. And I've been writing and singing and playing ever since. That's my whole life. That's what I do. This is my bread and butter, morning and night, just playing and writing. I love it.
Wow, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. And of course, born and bred here in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, in Harare. Starting off in Hatfield, but yeah.
Oh, I see. Beautiful stuff. And of course, you attended which school in primary and secondary?
Oh gosh, I've bounced around schools a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I was at 2 primaries, St. Martin's and North Park. And for secondary, I was at Heritage for a couple of years, and then I finished off in SA. So yeah, 4 schools.
Yeah, what a beautiful journey.
Yeah. It was good for me.
Oh, great. Okay, so let's dig deep into the music side. How did you discover that you can sing, and how did the music journey start?
Well, okay, the journey itself began in primary school days. I got one of those little keyboards, those playtime keyboards that people give their kids, and they're just like ding, 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 kind of noisy. I got one of those, and I used to really love just messing around with it and making up songs. And I used to be in choir at school. I used to hang out with my friends, the people that I went to school with, my friends, and we would make up little songs and ding, ding, ding with these playtime keyboards. And eventually over time, I started taking lessons and learning how to play. And it's funny with the singing, my plan in life wasn't actually to end up singing. I always thought I would just play the piano and write. And it was when I got towards the end of secondary school, and I was planning what am I going to do for uni with my whole future. That was the turning point at which one of my teachers then said, look, I think you can sing. You should try to sing a little bit more. And I was like, oh, I don't know. It's okay. Being a bit shy about it. And then I decided to take the leap and start voice lessons, and fast forward a bunch of years, and now I'm singing as well as writing and stuff. So it's been quite a turnaround.
Beautiful stuff. And of course, you came into the scene with a beautiful jam entitled Penga. I love the track.
So do I. It was so fun to write, so fun to put together.
Yes, hanging out with Tinashe Makura. I actually had him a few times a few weeks ago, time to say.
He's great.
Yeah, man. Take us through the journey and how you guys actually met and how you came about the song.
How did we meet? We had a contact who we both knew, Nyahalic, and he put us in touch with each other. And he said, "You guys, I feel like some magic can happen here." And I can't actually remember now who got in touch with who first, but the conversation sparked, and we're talking back and forth. Let's try to do a collab and put something together. And at the time, Tinashe had this producer he had already been working with for a long time in Malaysia, Anton Morgan. And the three of us basically had a bunch of calls and threw some ideas back and forth a lot. And then eventually the Jekupenga, it's funny, we talked about it for longer than it took to actually write and record the song in the end, because the writing happened in maybe 1 or 2 afternoons, like quick stuff. It just caught on fire by itself. And then the next week we were recording really quick again, like fast sessions, and we were excited, made some tweaks, edited some things, did a bunch of FaceTimes, and so I did all the production. And I can't believe how much people liked it in the end. It's always amazing to me.
It is quite a beautiful song. I love it. It's a love song, and And were you in a relationship around that time?
Yeah. This question. I was in a relationship at that time. I don't talk about my relationship, but yes, you can, if you're curious about my relationship, listen to the songs, I guess.
Yeah.
I was. And that feeling, well, a lot of people know that feeling when you first hit it off with someone and you feel like you're going mad with the love.
Yes.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, man. It's actually quite a beautiful song. I actually do love it. And of course, produced by Anton Morgan. And I've been saying he's been really doing a couple of few works with Tinashe Makura. How's it been like, just working with him and,
Which one?
And
both of them.
Yeah, both of them, if I'm to say.
Fabulous. They're real professionals. Anton is a real professional as well when I met him. And when we were doing the recording of it, it was actually the first time for me doing an international recording session where everyone is in a different place. And he was quite good at guiding me through the process, because I was in the studio myself, and he was like, now do this and do that to your whatever. And at the time I didn't even know the names of all these devices, and I was just following the instructions like, okay, over a Skype call. And then eventually we got there and we just did a bunch of takes. It was good. And with both of them, well, all three of us, we were all really comfortable with sending each other feedback, trying to improve the song. We all just really wanted it to be the best that it could be. So everyone was upfront, professional, quick, enthusiastic. It was awesome. It was a great collab.
Yeah, man, that's one thing I love about your sound. And you have reminded me one of the questions that I also wanted to ask, that, coming up with a beautiful, different sound, which is Afro pop, and it has got it's got some amazing, awesome melodic, and as well as some Western type of European type of sound, something like that. And coming up with such a sound, how was it like? And how did people respond at first?
Well, I think at first it's noteworthy that I didn't start off with that sound. In the very beginning, I began by trying to imitate and mimic the stuff that I'd been hearing on radio. You want to sound like what's already out there. Yeah. And then eventually I got to a point where it didn't really feel true to myself. And a lot of the European Western influences that you can hear are because I do spend my time playing a lot of classical music, actually. But that's not the end of my identity, right? I like to marry that with my Zimbabwean upbringings, my roots. I like to write in Shona. I like to mix it all together, and I think that's what makes it special. And perhaps people like it because it's coming from a real place. When I'm writing the stuff that ends up on albums that I put out there, it's because I felt that, I heard it in my head, and I married all the stuff together.
Yeah, but since you have talked about your roots, I've seen some of your works. Your songs is really quite embedded in home and culture, culture, that kind of African sound. And yeah, man, and take us through. I see that you always just have the love for home, and yeah, man, if you want to say anything about home, about your culture, what would you say, and how would you best describe it as?
How would I be I remember home. I haven't been home in a long time, actually. I remember home most when I think of music, when I think of food, when I think of people, when I think of the weather, when I think of the music, coming to that in particular, it's funny. When I think of home, I'm usually remembering songs from church. We used to go to church a lot, and hymns. And whenever I hear hymns, it just makes me think of going home.
Yeah.
And then in my head, and everything. Sorry, I switched over. I've gone back home. Yeah. It's everything. It's everything, really. It's hard to pick just one item. Home lives in your heart forever. Even if you leave for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I think wherever your true upbringing was, that'll always be home in your heart. You know, you have a long day, it's hard, and you close your eyes and you just think of, being home in the sun.
And yeah, you mentioned something about food. What is your
favorite
food? Yes.
Gosh, I am such a food person. That's like the second thing to music in my life. I love food. Oh, okay. What's the best thing? That's tough.
From here home, yeah.
Avocados. I know that sounds random, but makotopendo are just so special. It's true. Majanje are really good. I love simple things like chibage chaka gochwa, not even with butter or anything. Let's see.
Of course,
sadza. Huh?
It's still time for. It's now time for chibage. You can come through. I can hook you up with a whole bunch of stuff.
Can we actually make a date for that sometime, please? After all this COVID business is done, I would love to. I love to. Yeah. I could talk forever about the food. To be honest, you'll have to stop me.
Man, you're really quite an incredible person. But yeah, man. Your journey of music. So going to UCT, and in taking it professional, how was the journey like? Going down that side.
Which part exactly? Like they apply to go there, deciding?
Yeah, deciding going that side.
It was tough, especially since growing up in Zim, and I think this is true for most people, moving into a field where you're going to be a creative and actually do that as your life's profession is quite hard. A lot of people don't really see it as a viable thing to go for as a profession. So I was aware of that when I was about 16, 17, like, oh, can I really do this? A career in music? It just sounds crazy. And I had at the same time applied to go to law school, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna roll the dice with two very different careers and see how it goes. And in the end, I followed through with all of the auditions. My mom was really happy about it and very supportive, actually, which is quite good. And then I made my start with a music education there. And I tell you, when I arrived, everybody there was so good. Gosh, you never get that feeling where you first arrive in a place where everyone else is doing what you're doing, and you look around and you're like, I have to step up my game. Look at these people. So the pressure was on from day one.
And what you love about the career, what you love about, just being a singer, songwriter, and the type of person that you are when it comes to music?
I love connecting with people. To me, honestly, that is the best part. When you write something, or maybe if you didn't even write it, someone else wrote it and you're singing it, and it really gets through to somebody else. To me, that is the whole point. People often ask, how did you find the release of this song, or do you feel like it was successful in that? And it's like, to me, the measure of that success is if one person on the other side of the world hears a song and goes, I felt that, then to me, I feel like my job is done. And that's what I want out of my writing. I want somebody else to hear it and get it and be like, yeah, vibe with that. I like to connect with people. I love talking to people. So that's the best part about it.
Beautiful. And it's
everyone connected to music.
It's really quite a pleasure just having you on the show, and of course connecting, and of course each and everyone who's actually watching, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in right now. And of course I do have Chashe in the house. Yeah. And a big thanks to her for just letting us invade in her space, invade in her home, getting to have an incredible, awesome chat. And yeah, man, she's really quite an incredible, awesome person. And yes, let's talk about the latest album that you have recently done, entitled Lucid, which means transparent, if I'm to say, or rather clear.
Yeah, clear.
Yes. Let's talk about the album.
What would you like to hear?
I don't know, how did you come about the album? And yeah, because it's really quite a beautiful, beautiful album. I love it. And
I really appreciate you saying that. This album was like my baby. This is my second child.
wow.
was growing it over many years.
Yes.
And like D, actually, it started out with just one song seed, and then there were two, and then there were three, and then there were four over the years.
Yes.
And I started writing Lucid while I was still living in the US, and finished it off eventually when I got here to London. And I've now worked with so many different people on it. What started out as a solo project eventually, you know, had loads of people on board and helping me to work on it.
Yes.
With and the thing that I like the most about Lucid, or you know, to be clear and transparent, is I feel like more so than before, all of the songs that are on it are really a true reflection of what I was thinking and feeling in exactly that moment in that song. No hiding, no crap, no no filtering through lyrics or anything, just saying what I really mean and producing it in the way that I wanted to on many of the songs. So that was quite special as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. And of course, my personal favorite song is Solo. I love it. And when I saw the video, man, it's really quite, it's a beautiful song. It's nice, mellow, and the way you did the song, I love it. Even the video as well. And your video are quite simple, but at the same time, you try to spread out the message that you want to spread out the message. And I really love the album, and I really love the song. And if I'm to ask, which is what really inspired you to come up with that song, and what was happening around that time that you wrote?
Well, when I think of the album as an arc over the past 8 years of my life, like most people, by my age, I've been through lots of ebbs and flows of feeling really good, sometimes feeling really low. So as I said, if you look to the song, it's kind of what was going on. It's going through a difficult time, and I turned it into a song, which is what I tend to do when I'm going through difficult times. And that's kind of how Solo was born. Yeah.
One big favor. What is one of your favorite songs on the album?
God, you're forcing me to pick one. That's not fair. I think it's Hatfields.
Hatfields.
I think it's Hatfields. Yeah.
Ndinokuziva.
It's always been my favorite one. I love it. Not to say that I don't love the other ones as well. I do. They're all my babies, my children.
Actually, you missed home though. You missed home when you wrote that song.
I really had, and I've never stopped missing it.
Yes.
So I've never stopped loving Hatfield, the song, after it was first put together. Yeah.
Oh man, quite a beautiful, it's really quite a beautiful joint. I also love it. Of course, those are some of my top 3 songs. There's Solo and Lex's song. Lexus song.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
That one is also a really old one. By old, I mean it's one of the first ones I started writing. I used to perform with this all-female band when I was living in Boston. And there was actually a woman named Lexi who started the song seed for that. And it was the first time I ever wrote a song in a band setting. So different.
Beautiful stuff. And of course, apart from music, what else do you do apart from music?
Apart from music and loving food, I love to exercise. I love to exercise. I work out a lot. I'm pretty into boxing, so I do that a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, random,
Yeah.
but I love that. So satisfying.
Boxing.
I only hit people after they've given me permission, though, I promise.
So I should come for some lessons.
Yeah, I could do.
And of course, yeah, man. So who are some of the people that you know, that inspires you? And yeah, just name drop them. And yeah, would love to know who some of the people that really inspires you musically.
In what? I was just about to say musically. Oof, the music inspiration. Let's see. It's quite diverse.
Yeah.
Going from when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
I remember first being, this is going to sound so cliche, I remember first being inspired by listening to Destiny's Child's album. I used to be such a Destiny's Child fan. I loved Beyonce. I loved all of their dance moves and their writing.
Yeah.
Couple of years on, I got really into the works of Alicia Keys. She's amazing. I was so inspired by the fact that, you know, she wrote, she sang, she played the piano. To me, it was the first example of, you know, a woman that can do all of that stuff together. I didn't know we could do it until I saw somebody do it, you know? I thought, I want to be like that. Then as I got older, I discovered Tuku late. I don't know what I was doing discovering him so late, but I loved it. And he really inspired me to not just write and sing in English. Why? I wanted to incorporate the Shona stuff as well. You know, you want to be accessible so that other people can understand too if they're not Shona, but at the same time, it's nice to embrace the language that you speak.
Mm-hmm.
And as a grown-up, the past few years, I've been delving a lot into really, really old music, like old school 1800 type stuff, because I spend a lot of time
dipping into the grave.
I've been digging into the grave. And I'm telling you, the grave has some interesting stories to tell. So
yeah,
the rest is all classically inspired. Yeah.
And here home, who are some of the people that you listen to or that you love
nowadays?
Yes.
Nowadays, the last two big people I was spinning on my own playlist last week, I was listening to Tammy Moyo. I really like her. She's so cool. You know what's funny? I have a side story. I remember when I first met Nasha Makura in person, and we were recording something, and he told me that he'd just met this young girl, and her name was Tammy Moyo, and he was like, Chashe, I'm telling you, that's someone to watch. And I was like, really? And he kept telling me, she has a voice. Watch out for that Tammy Moyo. She's coming. And I was like, okay, cool. And then some years later, I was like, okay. I mean, like, he really came together. That was quite cool. So I've been bumping her track. I really like Chekere. I know the time has passed, but I also really like Amara Brown.
Amara Brown as well.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song from Amara?
Mokoko.
Like
everybody, I'm a sucker for that song.
Oh man, that's a great song as well.
It is. I play that all the time.
Hang Out with Titan. It's actually quite a beautiful song. I love it.
And it made me want to learn the guitar.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't go very well, but I tried.
Since you have talked about playing a guitar, what some of the instruments do you play as well?
Properly, just the piano, and I sing. I like to experiment with other instruments from time to time. So every once in a while, I pick something up and just try to do a little bit, see what I can do. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And of course, let's talk about the marriage life. Yeah. I see someone is now Mrs. Target.
McTaggart. Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about that. And who's the mister?
The mister.
How did you guys meet?
We actually met at music school.
Wow.
In the US, he was studying production.
All right.
And I was studying songwriting,
Yeah.
and we literally met in our classes, and we started to slowly do some assignments together. Then
Yeah.
we did more and more assignments together, and that was that. Pretty soon it was more relationship and less assignments. But
Ah,
yeah, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, we've actually worked together on a lot of things that I've put out there. He produced all of the album D.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah, man.
it's quite a landmark start for our relationship, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
Short.
And even up to now, he's always quite helpful in feeding back to me in my writing. We work on how I can improve stuff and so on. So yeah, we're super musical people.
That's beautiful, man. And of course, any kids?
Just the one. Well, the one, and then they're the song babies, but yes, just the one.
Ah.
She's a big kid now as well. Gosh.
What,
yeah.
what's the name of the baby and how old?
Her name is Sophie, and she's 10.
10. Wow.
I know. It shocks me every time.
Wow. That's great. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Man. And yeah, maybe to some of us who still haven't got married, what would be the best advice to some of the singles out there? And yeah.
To finding someone or to staying with someone?
Finding and stay.
I suppose it's a similar thing. I think when it comes to finding, it's possibly the most important thing is to be yourself. You know, people tend to say that like you attract what you are,
Yeah.
and then they go out and make a lot of effort into being something that they're not, and then you end up attracting something that you're not, and then later on it becomes problematic. But whenever you start off being your real 100% self, I think you're likely to attract someone who's being that as well, and it'll work. Yeah. And then when it works, it's hard work. It's always hard work forever. So that's important as well. Don't give up on things. Work hard.
Keyword: never give up and work on it. And
Work on it. It's a lot of work. People get lazy as well. They're like, oh, I love my relationship, but I don't want to work on it. And then they get lazy. It's like an instrument. Like you work on it. You never put it down and go, okay, I've got one now. I've got a husband. There he goes. Like, yeah, you work on it. Yeah.
And of course, you being based in the UK, how has it been like? And how has been the reception when it comes to your music? How have they been receiving your music? And yeah.
How so? You mean like with live performances and stuff like
Yes,
that?
live performances, songs, and just your craft.
I'd say it's been pretty good so far, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. People, well, it's okay. In the past, it's hard to remember because in the past year, of course, we've been in and out of lockdowns for so long.
Yeah.
So, with everything past COVID, live music has been gone for a long time.
Yeah.
But when it was there, it was really, really vibrant. People are really receptive to the arts here. And like, even if you're not doing like a main show and you're just busking on the side of the road, people are so supportive and they sing along, and it's great. It's a really musical city, and I love that about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course, 2021, what are some of the plans for you for 2021?
So survive the pandemic, I guess, is number one. And try to write and put out more music. Yeah. For this 2021. I want to come home as well, of course. I had planned to do that last year for 2020 on the release of my album. I was dying to do a tour. But life didn't work out that way. But I'm fingers crossed, honestly. This comes together. I'd love to come home and do some shows there.
Beautiful, and most definitely you're gonna come through. DM me, I'll be around, and
we'll get some Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I'll hook you up, most definitely.
Yeah, you have to. Some good stuff.
And yeah, man, it's been absolutely a pleasure just being with you and just getting to have a chat down with you. And of course, to each and everyone who's actually watching, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. It's been absolutely a pleasure. And of course, I'm gonna be asking her one big favor. I know that we have been going through the lockdowns and all that kind of stuff. what would you want to say, maybe to people out there who are watching, and what would you want to say? Your best advice to people about COVID-19, about the season that we have actually been in, and yeah, what can you say? What would be the best word for each and every one?
I think, yeah, people have been through a lot, and people are still going through a lot. People will probably still be going through a lot as this comes out, not just health wise, but emotionally, financially. Like, it's a big hit for everyone. And I think the biggest thing I'd like to say to people is that you're not alone. Like, there are so many people who are struggling through this. Obviously, there are different levels of struggles, different kinds of struggle, but it's hit everyone.
Yeah.
And I guess, like I said about relationships and marriage, even with life here, don't give up on it. Whatever it is that you are trying to do or doing or wanted to do, and the pandemic just exploded out of nowhere, just keep trying. Don't give up on it. Eventually, things will settle, and we have to keep going. We have to keep moving. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And of course, that was Chashe Musarurwa McTaggart. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been absolutely a pleasure just hanging out with her today. And yeah,
It's great hanging out with you as well.
Ah, man, it's a pleasure. And of course, wherever you are, the name of the show is called The Blend, hashtag The Link Up. And of course, it is the show whereby we get to link up with new emerging talent. I understand that Chashe, she's been in the game for a while, but today we are celebrating her. We are celebrating her journey, and also we are celebrating her music as well, because she has been doing incredible stuff, representing Zimbabwe on an international level. And I'm really proud of you, my sister. And yeah, continue to do wonders, continue to do good, and continue to create great music. And because your music is so organic, it's really quite beautiful. And yeah, you're a blessing to the country, if I'm to say, and to the whole world.
So nice. You're making my whole weekend. I love it.
Yeah, man. Any last words that you want to say to the whole nation of Zimbabwe, and even to all the people, your fans?
Ooh, no pressure.
Yeah.
Just thank you so much for listening. I know I always say it all the time, but it really makes my day. This people listening, people getting it, people caring. It's really what I do it for. I love to connect with people, and I'm so thankful to everybody who's played Hatfield or Solo, any of the tracks on Lucid. I appreciate it so much. And sometimes people send me messages as well, like they type up stuff on YouTube or in the DMs, and I love to see your messages, so I'm always open to that. But the biggest thing is thank you so much. It's an honor.
Same here. Thank you as well. And of course, yeah, to each and everyone, go and look out for the album, go and buy the album. Chashe.com, chashemusic.com, right?
Chashemusic.com, yeah.
And your socials, to some of the people who want to follow you and be in touch with you.
If you want to be in touch with me on Instagram, I am Chashe Official, just Chashe Official, no funny characters or anything. Twitter, I'm Chashe Music, although I'll be honest, I don't tweet as much as I Instagram. Facebook, Chashe Music as well. And on YouTube, you can just Chashe, and that comes up as well. Yeah.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you so much. And of course, from here, heart and soul, I just want to say we heart you so much. We love you so much. And continue. Oh, man. Continue to make beautiful music, and continue to be you, and continue to be such an inspiration. And of course, this month, it is the month of March, whereby we're celebrating women, and we celebrate you. We celebrate you so much. And I just want to say we love you. We heart you so much as Heart and Soul Broadcasting Services.
I love it. Thank you. It's been such a pleasure.
Awesome. And of course, yeah, thank you so much for each and everyone who's been watching once again. I know because I've been really quite excited just having a chat down with Chashe. Remember to continue to support local music and also continue to, continue to support new and emerging talent. She's been in the game, but yeah, continue to support local music. She is doing incredible stuff. Look out for her music. And of course, yeah, I visited her a website. It's www.chashemusic.com. Go and download some of the freebies on the site.
Oh, you just reminded me. Sorry. And if you're downloading from Zim, which I think most people are at this moment, you can get free downloads from cheapochashe.com. Just
awesome stuff.
Yeah. There you go. Nearly forgot to say that, gosh.
Oh man, thank you so much. It's been absolutely an awesome time.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you in the flesh with that chibage snack and another chat down.
Most definitely. I'll definitely keep you some.
Cool.
Awesome. And yeah, enjoy. And I wish nothing but the best for you and your career and your life, family and marriage as well. Yeah.
I'm never giving up. So there you go.
Awesome stuff.
Thanks, MJ.
Awesome.
Cool.
Feeling good, feeling like gold. I've been learning how to let go. When you let me down, I was so low. Now I'm feeling good, yeah, I'm feeling high. I've been learning how to take flight. Put myself together, gotta live right. I'm at the mirror with my makeup on the way I like. I rarely be at 16. It's better on me at 28. I got my music on and turn it up the way I like. And my neighbors at 16 still got it going on like whoa. Dancing on my own. Now you wanna call my phone. Say you wanna come on over while I'm by myself. Whoa, I'm dancing on my own. You don't get to call my phone. You don't get to come on over while I'm by myself. So think about it if you want to. Apologize if you want to. It might feel better, but it's whatever now. When we got together, it was good karma. Sometimes I think about it and want you back, but I'm way smarter. When we were together, it was all drama. I'm at the mirror with my hair done up the way I like. Had my best weave at 18 and fell in love with my makings. I got my music on and turn it up the way I like. My best song on repeat. Living my best life like whoa. Dancing on my own. Now you wanna call my phone. Say you wanna come on over while I'm by myself. Whoa, I'm dancing on my own. You don't get to call my phone. You don't get to come on over. Just let me sing my solo. When you let me down, I was so low. I put myself together just solo. All by myself, whoa. When you let me down, I was so low. I put myself together just solo. All by myself. Yeah, when you let me down, I was so low. Just let me sing my solo. I've been solo. Put myself together just. Yeah, when you let me down, I was so low. Dancing on my own. You don't get to call, you don't get to call. You don't get to go, you don't get to go. Dancing on my own. You don't get to go, you don't get to go. You don't get to call, you don't get to call.